Hi, welcome to this video today, which is all about a simple Forex trading strategy, low risk, but can make you really great gains over the longer term. Now, in terms of the trading strategy, it is simply switching cash currency. So you're not going to use any leverage at all. Now, in terms of a trading strategy with no leverage, can it make really great gains? Well, yeah, it can, because I know plenty of traders who do this and basically make more than most traders trading on leverage. I'll give you some examples of what you can make in terms of potential gains and how you implement a cash currency strategy, which is slightly different, in my view, to the way you should implement a leverage trading strategy. Now, this strategy will basically appeal to more conservative traders, also appeal to traders who have a small amount of money in their Forex trading account, but a larger amount held with managed funds. Okay, so with fund managers. Now, my own view is most traders or investors who have managed money, they don't do that well. Most managed fund performance is pretty poor. Also, in terms of a lot of traders, they'll have equity investments. Now, equities, they're very high at the moment historically, obviously multi-year highs, and chance of a big break are high. And a lot of traders and investors think this, but they're reluctant to get away from equities because the alternatives aren't going to give you much. Let's say a bond fund or just keeping your money in the bank. You're not going to make much money. This strategy will help you get away from equities, and my view is you can beat most managed money or fund managers. Now, in terms of the strategy itself, how much money can you make? I'll just give you an example of one trade which I mentioned recently on YouTube, which was anyone a few months ago who I knew overseas who did not have their account balance in sterling just said switch over to sterling because you probably do very well. Now, that trade in just over 2.5 months has made about 8.5%. Okay, could go up to 15% or more. It's just a simple cash switching trade. Okay, no leverage. And I think, if you're doing a cash switching currency and you focus on the right opportunities, you can make good amount of money annually, more than a lot of traders will make with leverage. You'll have a stress-free type of strategy because you're not taking much risk, but the potential for profit really good. Doesn't take much time to implement the strategy either. Now, you can do it slightly different to the way you trade a leverage Forex account. Well, that's my belief in the way you should do it. I've written up some points on a storyboard just to give you some tips on doing a low risk cash currency switching strategy. So let's go over and take a look at them. Right, let's have a look at some points in relation to trading cash currency. Now, in terms of point number one, I put lessons from Cider. So that's actually a fund that I used to know. It was two guys who did currency switching. It was back before 2008, but their strategy was just really low risk. They hardly had any drawdowns, sort of drawdowns typically about 2 or 3%, but they're making 12 to 15% compound annual growth, and they did that over 5 years. So very steady, good compound growth, very little drawdown. Okay, we did have higher volatility before 2008. The volatility is pretty low at the moment, but in recent videos I've been saying you are going to see dramatic volatility in the next year, really big trends. I personally think a currency cash switching account will do really, really well. Now, in terms of actually doing it, can you do it in your bank account? You might be able to. Or if you can't do it in your bank account, you can just deposit or put a deposit with a broker, let's say 10 or 20% of your money, and keep the rest as a cash balance backup. You treat both the same. Okay, so you'll be trading on leverage in your broker account, but overall you'll have no leverage at all. I know a lot of people are nervous about putting big money with brokers because they think a lot of them are unstable. I think if you use a regulated broker, a big one, you'll be fine. You can actually use a bank. A good bank for cash switching is Saxo Bank. They've got a really good service, a lot of currencies, and obviously they have a banking license. Now, there is a difference between, in my view, the way you implement a cash switching strategy and a leverage strategy. You've got a long-term focus. You'll tend to find that your gains are over the longer term. You can't smooth it month to month. You'll have many months that are flat, for example. You might make really good profits in just a few months. So I would say judge your performance over 3-month holding periods, 6-month holding periods. My preference would be just look and aim at the annual performance. You don't need to trade often with this strategy at all. How many trades? Well, I know people who do cash switching, maybe do on average 1 trade a month and make really good gains. You're focused on big trends and it will help you hold them with discipline. And this is something that happens to leverage traders. They see a big trend in the market. They know it's going to probably continue in their minds, but they're panicked out a bit early, or they're taken out on stop because they're leveraged up. Okay. And they'll try and trade in and out all the time. They'll just get nowhere. Some of these big cash currency trends, it can be 10%, 15% or more. You can catch them. Okay, you don't need many trends to make you really good gains. You don't need perfect market timing. When I was saying about, trading or turning your account balance into sterling, it was a little bit early actually, but there just wasn't much downside. You can ride out a little bit against you, more so than you can with leverage when you trade in cash. So the trade a little bit against and then nicely up into profit. And I think there's more profit to come. Okay, so you don't need perfect market timing. Now, in terms of big trends in the market, they're there. For example, look at USD SEK over the last year or so. It's a big trend. Okay, there's retracements, but if you focus on the big trend, then you will be making really good gains, or you would have done if you'd done it a year ago. And I know a lot of traders who've been focused on that trend. Also, you pick up some interest as well, because the US dollar positive interest rate above the Swedish krona. Now, in terms of carry trade interest, you can find currencies with really big interest rates. For example, the Turkish lira, 16%. Mexican peso, 9%. So a lot of cash currency traders focus on the interest on those sorts of currencies. I wouldn't want to do that in a cash switching account. They're very unstable. They're exotics. They can gap. You can get high volatility, get gapped over the weekend, for example. You want, carry interest in your favor, but I would tend to stick to the major crosses, not the real exotic currencies, basically. You don't obviously carry interest too much against you, because it will eat into your profits if you're following bigger long-term trends. I'm not, how would I put it, would not be really focused on those really exotic high carries. They've got a high carry for a reason. They're junk, basically. When you start to set a low target figure to aim at, what do most fund managers make? You don't find many that make more than 10% per annum. The statistics show that. Aim at 10%. You can actually maybe surprise yourself with bigger gains. Let's say you had that British pound trade. I know it was a good one. Okay, well, that's nearly 10%. Okay, and that's in 2.5 months. You've got all year to make above 10%. And I think if you don't chase gains, then the chances are you'll make more than you kind of set your target at. If you set too big a target, you just won't reach it. You'll be tempted to chase it, trade too often, etc. And like I said, with a cash currency trading strategy, you do not want to be trading often. You only want the biggest and best trends. You only want those turning points when the market is really extreme and it's going to probably change. Okay, it's a stress-free and time-efficient strategy. You're not going to be watching prices all the time. You watch them once a day. That's enough. It's not going to take much time. It's going to take less than half an hour a day for sure. So it's a great way to trade the markets. I've said that already. Now I will do a PDF on this, and also some more trading techniques in detail with specific examples. I might run a sample cash switching kind of portfolio in our website. Now, in terms of you could achieve what Zydas did, 12 to 15% compounded per annum, compounded per annum with very little drawdown. You're probably doing a lot better in terms of growth than most Forex traders. Most Forex traders who trade on leverage trade a lot and don't get anywhere. We know the majority of traders lose. On leverage, you make 30, 50% gains per annum. You're doing very, very well. Without leverage, 12, 15%, it's a really good return, and you won't have too much stress, and you won't have to make too much effort either. So I think it will suit a lot of traders, this style of trading. And also, if you've got managed money, a lot of people don't consider this. Can they do better themselves? My own view is, unless you've got a really good fund manager, and there aren't many of those around, yes, you can do better than the so-called professionals. But don't forget, they're focused on making money either in spreads, management fees, performance fees. Well, you pay for that, okay? With your own money, if you're trading it yourself, you're not focused on commission, are you? Focused on gains for yourself. Right, that is the video for today. Join our free mailing list and I'll do some more info in relation to cash switching. But good way to trade. Right, thank you very much for watching me as usual. Take care. Have a good day.